So you won't let go by James Arthur, and you're still listening to Kumbang channel. Kumbang, kumpul bareng yo, with me, Beto, and also Johnson in the house right now. And yeah, we're just gonna take a little time from you guys before I play my last song in the English segment, because I think what we're gonna be talking about is a very interesting issue, especially for all our Filipino listeners out there. In fact, actually some Indonesians also, but I think more Filipinos. Yeah. Anyway, it's regarding the news that I presented just now. It's in the flash news about the local government not allowing, actually, I have to put that word actually, not allowing non-residents to be drivers. Okay, so why do I use the word actually? Because I think a lot of people until recently at least, including myself, we just assume that anyone from outside Macau can come to Macau and get just about any job. Because all this time we know that they can get a job in the casino and everything, and so we just assume, and also working as domestic helper, and so we just assume that of course anybody can just come to Macau and become a driver. Is that what you thought also? That everybody could? Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But TDM Canal Macau just reported recently about the government reminding that actually non-residents are not allowed to be drivers in Macau. But the fact is, we know a lot of drivers who happen to be foreign nationals, Filipinos. Most of the people that I know who work in Macau as drivers, they're Filipinos, okay? Probably because they speak good English as well, and I know some Indonesians also. But regardless, wherever they're from, if they are foreign nationals, so according to the law, actually they're not allowed. So but what's happening? Because what about you? Do you know that any other foreign national who work as a driver in Macau?
Yes, but how can they get the license?
Okay, so I actually knew the what do you call it? The things that they do. It's a bit seedy, I know. The practice, the practice that's been done in Macau. If you know quite a lot of our migrant workers in town, you would know about this. What happened with them is, when they apply for a job in employment agency, they get the job, but then many times they will have a different working permit. It's amazing. And this is not just one or two persons. Actually, it's happening with quite a lot of migrant workers, and they can't do anything because basically they're looking for a job. So they don't know, because for all they know is they can just work and with whatever working permit that they've been given. But of course, they are all warned that if there is a raid coming to the place, you guys have to leave the premises straight away. So I know it's a bit seedy, and so, but now then I realize why they do this, because in fact they're really against the law. It's against the law, and so I'm sure there is of course there is a consequence, as we heard just now with the news that the government is actually proposing to increase the penalty. So there's got to be a penalty, but perhaps they're not afraid of that, But I just want to remind people, like if you're migrant workers out there, just be careful, because you don't know that actually it's against the law. And I know you're probably desperate sometimes and you just want to get a job, but if you get caught, then it'll create troubles rather than doing you good at all. For the sake of money, sometimes you just okay, this is seedy, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Just be careful, seriously, because if you get caught, then you've heard it yourself that the government is even thinking about increasing the penalty. I don't know what the penalties are. So I think if you are listening to this right now, just be careful. Whatever job. I think it's not just a driver. It's just about anything. If you are, if it's if in the working permit it's stated there that you're working as, say, a waiter, then you should be a waiter. Don't work as a domestic helper, and vice versa. If you're supposed to be working, you're registered as a domestic helper, but then you work in a restaurant, that is illegal. That is against the law. So the same thing with this, this news that we just announced to you guys. If you're a foreign national, not holding Macau resident ID card, and you're working as a driver, you're an illegal worker here. Because you're working against the law, So what you're doing is against the law. It's illegal. So I don't know. I mean, I know some of you are probably already working right now, and you're probably shocked to hear that. So I don't know. My suggestion is you may want to go to, I don't know, a labor department or whatever. Just ask for, ask for the right information. What do you think, Johnson?
If they said the boss asked them to drive the car.
Yeah, they do. The boss asked them to drive the car, of course.
And they hold a
different working permit. It's not legal. It can't be because the government said that. It can't
license.
be.
Yeah,
no, the license. Yeah, they do have a license.
Yeah.
But the working contract, the employment contract, it doesn't say that they are working as a driver.
Maybe they have another excuse to say that I'm not working as a driver. I just.
That's what I mean. So it's just So in front of the government, they pretend. Yes, they pretend. But nevertheless, if you are a foreign national holding the wheel as a driver, whether you're working by getting paid or you're volunteering, I think that's illegal. I think that's against the law. And so, that's why, and it's not just the employers that will be penalized. I think as the workers also, because the government has already reminded you, unless you don't know at all. But the government has recently announced that, So I think it's time for you guys to be careful and straighten everything, If it's in the past, you didn't know about it, it's a new thing that okay, well, fair enough. But now that you know, it's time to straighten everything, Speak to your employers. I don't know. Just be careful, because it's seedy, seriously, and it's not going to do any good to you, right? Anyway, we're going to have to talk again about all the other issues next week and the English segment because we are at the end of the English segment. But for the Indonesians, don't go away because right after this, we will be back, me and Pak Johnson, to be talking about some issues in the Indonesian language, of course. So my last song for the English segment tonight, this is Dami Im with a song called Sound of Silence. Continue to listen to Kumbang channel. Kumbang, kumpul bareng yo.